Fed Chief Ben Bernanke is making his speech at the meeting of top economists out in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. The very first headlines are starting to cross. Let's bring in economics editor Mike McKee live in Jackson Hole. Mike?
Well, Margaret, the story of this speech is that it contains nothing that traders wanted to hear, less than they perhaps even hoped to hear. The Fed chairman doesn't say anything about additional stimulus policies in the speech. That's the major takeaway from this address. He doesn't talk about or even address any kind of range of policies, doesn't describe them or list them. He simply repeats the Fed statement from August 9th that they have a range of tools that could be used, and they discuss them at that August 9th meeting. We will continue to consider those and other pertinent issues, he says, including, of course, economic and financial developments at our meeting in September. That, we can now report, has been changed to a two-day meeting, September 20th, the original day. Now it's going to be 2 days so they can take a closer look at the economy and where it is. We'll put the focus on that day. The Fed chairman acknowledges that growth has been slower than the Fed expected, and it wasn't just the temporary factors such as the Japanese earthquake. There are real problems in the economy, partly brought on by the fact it was an unusual recession involving housing and credit. Both of those remain a drag on the economy and will be for some time to come. Bernanke also blames the S&P downgrade of the U.S. economy and the congressional debacle over the debt ceiling for causing significant problems this summer. There seems to be little doubt, he says, they have hurt household and business confidence and that they pose ongoing risks to growth. He asks Congress to do a long-term fix for the economy's problems, but says at the same time they need a short-term fiscal stimulus. He says fiscal policymakers should not disregard the fragility of the current economic recovery. And he concludes with a challenge to Congress to change the budget process. The negotiations that took place over the summer disrupted financial markets and probably the economy as well. Bernanke says the country would be well served by a better process for making fiscal decisions. So strong words on the fiscal side, perhaps stronger than the Fed chairman usually makes, calling on Congress to do something, but calling on Congress, not the Fed, to be the next move in the economy. Definitely weaker than traders probably expected.